Yo, what's up, anime lovers? Welcome back to Anime Talk, the podcast where we slice through the filler and get it right into the real stuff. I'm your host, Blazard, and today, we're diving in some straight fire. That's right, we are going to dive into one of the longest running and most passionate debates in the anime world, subbed versus dubbed anime. And the question is, should you watch anime with the original Japanese voices and subtitles, or is it okay to watch it dubbed in your own language? Well, let's break that down today. And before we do, we just want to say a little prayer for this podcast. Lord God, just ask you to bless this podcast. Let it be educational to the people watching, and let them have a better understanding of the topic that I am talking about. In Jesus' name, amen. So, let us get started by breaking down the real question: what are subs and dubbed? What is subbed anime and what is dubbed anime? Well, for the beginners out there, subbed anime is original Japanese audio with English subtitles. So it's voice actors from the realm of Japan, and English subtitles are provided so that you understand what they're saying, so that you just don't hear a bunch of Japanese and you don't understand what they're saying. While as dubbed anime is Japanese audio replaced with English voice actors or other languages depending on your region. So obviously that would be, there are some examples that I can use like Pokemon, Beyblade, Bakugan. Did I say Yu-Gi-Oh? I don't know if I mentioned Yu-Gi-Oh. Basically the main animes that are mostly dubbed in English. And of course there are Japanese versions of that anime. But that's just the prime definition of the two. So some fans swear by subs for authenticity. Others prefer dubs because they can just watch and not read. And honestly, both sides make good points. Because subbed anime has more expression, more exaggeration in certain animes. You know, for example, comedic animes are a little bit more exaggerated. And more drama anime are more emotional. Like, you literally can hear the emotion that the Japanese voice actors give in each performance of the anime that they're voicing for. While as dubs is just, a nice, easy way to enjoy anime without having to struggle reading subtitles every single second, where you could just put it on the background, maybe do something on the side, and actually still understand while enjoying the anime that you're watching. Now, of course, this doesn't mean that every single dubbed version of an anime doesn't give their best. I recently in an anime called Gachi Akuta. I'm probably butchering that name, but I'll post it on the side of me right now. It's an anime about one side clean, one side literally trashy. The main character gets accused of a murder and gets sent down to this underworld reality called the Pit, where a bunch of monsters dwell and a bunch of evildoers dwell. And I will definitely say that the English dubbed version of that anime is doing very phenomenal so far. So, dubbed anime, some good and some not the greatest, but you can't really slander on dubbed a lot, because there are some animes where the dub version they bring their best. But I definitely understand why subbed is the more go-to when it comes to watching traditional anime. But like I said, both sides make very good points. Now, let's start with subbed anime, which is the purest choice, right? So here's why people love the subbed version of a certain anime. Number one, you hear the original performance, you hear the tone, you hear the emotion, you hear the delivery of the lines that they're uttering. and you just feel it. It gives you a good emotion. Like a good example that I can give is My Hero Academia's season 6. I think it's either season 6 or season 7, the Dark Deku arc. And it's the episode where they bring Izuku back to UA. Everyone, all the civilians that are held at UA because of all the villains going around, they're in a safe haven, but they brought Deku back, and the people are kind of paranoid that Deku may be a magnet to some villains coming to the safe haven. And so Uraraka, one of the main characters of the show, goes up to the top of the building and gives the most emotional speech I have ever heard. And I'm not gonna lie, I cried. I cry. Usually when it comes to certain things in the past, I'm not a big crier. You know, I'll get sad. But as I mature more, and while I'm watching these anime, they hit a certain way, especially when a favorite character of yours dies. That will hit you straight in the gut, and that is why I'm kind of, just steering off a little bit, but I'll get back to what I'm talking about in a second. When a character that you truly love, that you've gotten to know for a good amount of seasons, ends up dying, I feel like that's a very big anime trope, because we love this character, we gotten to know this character, but we just gotten to the point where we love a character, but at some point we know that character is gonna die. That character is strictly going to die for this story to move on. No ands, ifs, or buts. That character is dead. And I'm not gonna lie, it hits me every time. Like, it's like, I know you're going to die, but I still wasn't ready for it. I really wasn't. But that's just my explanation of original performance. Like, you feel the tone and the emotion of the situation that's happening within the anime. The second reason is you avoid translation or cultural tweaks often found in dubs. And then the last reason is often available immediately when a new anime airs. So what that basically means is when a new anime releases, they first put out the subbed version of that anime. Sometimes they will put both subbed and dubbed for that anime, but specifically when a certain new anime releases, they will release the subbed version of that anime. A good example, Dragon Ball Daima. I don't specifically know if I believe that the dub version is out right now, but when Dragon Ball Daima came out, it was strictly subbed anime. It was strictly the subbed version of Dragon Ball Daima. And it gives you that sense of, oh, I will experience it first in its traditional, in its traditional fashion, and then once the dubbed anime comes in, then I'll watch that. So some characters just hit different in Japanese. Like, imagine Luffy, Levi, or Gojo without their original voices. They become iconic for a reason. And for this, I actually agree. Like, Luffy, English voice actor, no disrespect, she's wonderful. It's just something about hearing Luffy in Gear 5 with the Japanese voice actor it fits so much more. And yeah, Levi's Japanese voice actor definitely fits better in Japanese. Gojo, on the other hand, I don't know. I kind of feel Gojo subbed and dubbed kind of fits both in a way. Like, I like both of them. But everybody has their preference to a character, whether they like the Japanese voice actor or the English voice actor for that specific character. But not everyone enjoys reading subtitles. So if a anime is in the subbed version with English subtitles, not everybody wants to read that. Everybody has to look down at the subtitles to read it, and they miss most of the action that's happening in the show. So, especially if you have ADHD, vision issues, or if you're multitasking. So, like I said earlier, dubbed anime is a little bit better if you want to just turn it on. If you're multitasking, maybe like doing some work, homework, or if you're cleaning up a certain room, dubbed anime is a little bit better to help you out with when you're doing other things. So, and of course, I was technically diagnosed with ADHD when I was little, even though I kind of have some symptoms of ADHD, but at the same time, I know how to keep it in check. So I sometimes don't really have a problem of reading subtitles when I'm watching the sub version of an anime. But hey, that's just me. That's just me. Okay? So, now, let's flip the coin. Dubbed anime gets a lot of hate. But, ladies and gentlemen, let's be real. They have come a long way. I will say this right here and now for the record. Dubbed anime has really come a long way. And I can say, I already said one example, I can absolutely say another example, and I hope a few of you know what example I'm about to say. But let's break it down. So why some fans loved the dub version of an anime? It's more accessible. You can watch it while doing other things. If we haven't specified it already. It's great for young or casual viewers who may not read too fast. This is just pointing out all the things that I've said previously for subbed version. A lot of people don't really like to read a lot. It loses their focus on some of the action, and that's why some people kind of fall off certain anime. That's one of the reasons. Of course, another reason is attention span. And then many recent dubs have been really solid. And here are some standout dub performances. Steve Blum as Spike from Cowboy Bebop, Laura Bailey as Toru in Fruits Basket, and a person that I actually met at New York City Comic Con. I mentioned this in the last episode. Justin Briner as Deku from My Hero Academia. Love that dude, super nice, and really knows how to get into character. I challenged him. I challenged Justin as soon as I left. I gave him just a quick Bakugo impression, and he just rolled right with it. That really shows how in touch a voice actor is with their character, the character that they're voiced. And there are a lot of voice actors who voices different characters. Tom Kenny, for example, he voices a plethora of cartoon characters. The guy who voices Peter in Family Guy voices basically the entire collection of the characters in Family Guy. But that's getting off topic. The one anime right now that I want to talk about that has phenomenal subbed and dubbed voice acting, specifically dubbed voice acting, is Solo Leveling. Now let's be real. I don't think we were surprised that this was gonna come up. Alex Lee, that man, I applaud him. I don't know how much apple cider vinegar or how much ginger tea or just how much, substances that he needed to take for his voice not to give out when he was giving the lines for Sung Jin Woo. When he was going all in, especially during the fight with him versus Igris the Blood Red. I just applaud him because, that man gave an amazing performance. And of course, the legendary actor Sean Schimmel. We don't really need to explain too much about him. He's great, wonderful. Even Vegeta, Piccolo, all of them. They have been going at this for a very long time. Rest in peace to the GOAT Akira Toriyama. They've been going at this for many years. I don't really need to explain why those people from Dragon Ball Z are the GOATs. If you know, then you know. But plus, the dub industry is full of passionate voice actors. And let's be really honest, there are times the dub actually improves a weak subline. Now here's the thing. This is a little, controversy thing. When we watch dubbed anime, and then we watch sub anime, sometimes the dialogue in the dub anime don't exactly fit the English subtitles for sub. There are a lot of moments where the dubbed dialogue does not fit the subtitles for sub. Just wanted to point that out there, because I know there are a lot of people who picks up on that when they're watching anime. And, that's as long as they're at least close. As long as they're at least close to what each other is saying. If they're close, if they're in the same level of dialogue, then hopefully that clears it up. Now, let's not ignore the elephant in the room. Let's keep it a buck. Back in the early 2000s, the year that I was born, yeah, there were some really cursed dubs for anime. So lines were awkward, voices didn't match characters, and the censorship was extremely heavy. We're looking straight at you, 4Kids. All right, let's talk about 4Kids for a second. All right, 4Kids TV was a special cartoon animation service that aired every single Saturday and would feature a collection of different, cartoons and anime. You got the OG Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, you got Viva Pinata, you got the OG, one of my personal favorites from 4Kids TV, Sonic X. And then you got Wings Club, a few other collections of cartoons. But of course, with those cartoons, there also came the, uprising of anime in 4Kids. But let's be completely honest, there is one anime in particular that was shown on 4Kids that was just really not good at all. And obviously that one anime is One Piece. I think I put in a video. I think it was creating your own character, according to me. And I think I mentioned something about 4Kids, and I showed a clip of, certain characters saying their lines. You could see in those clips, the voices didn't match the characters at all. Especially my boy Sanji, because I don't know what voice they gave Sanji for 4Kids. But if you know, then you know. So obviously, we're gonna keep that dubbed version of One Piece down the ground, down the grave, bury it, and never looked at ever again. I will definitely say, I think 4Kids featured Yu-Gi-Oh, which was alright. And of course, we had Pokemon, where there were some dubbed version, there were some dubbed moments that really didn't fit. Like, for instance, when Brock was mentioning about the jelly-filled donut, it was actually onigiri, which is the Japanese food of a rice ball. So it's a rice ball. It's like sticky rice formed into a ball. Sometimes it's served with a onigiri wrapped on the bottom, or wrapped all the way around with seaweed, nori seaweed specifically. But of course, Brock thought that onigiri was a jelly-filled donut. And I'm pretty sure we would never let that down at all. Actually, People vs. Food, a channel that I watch on YouTube, they actually pointed out that they gave the contestants, the onigiri that was filled with probably jelly. I'm not entirely sure what it was filled, but it was filled with that substance. And when they was guessing it, the host of the challenge clarified that the voice dub for that didn't really match up to the food that was being served in that episode. So, as you can see, there were a good amount of times where the dub really didn't fit certain topics or certain things, or just didn't even fit the characters that they were voicing for. It didn't fit it at all. And I think another great example is an anime called Ghost Stories. I won't go too much into it, but let's just say in that anime, a lot of things were said. A lot of silly things, a lot of maybe racial things, a lot of very insane things were said in that anime. And it is what it is. But of course that anime got turned into one of the greatest anime memes of all time. Like the entire anime, aside from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, is considered one of the most memeable animes known to man. So that year of the 2000s, it left scars. So a lot of fans became loyal to the subversion of anime out of their own survival. Because, look, I get it. That era wasn't good for dubbed anime. So it kind of made people think, okay, I'm just gonna watch the traditional version of anime, like the traditional way to watch anime, because dub ain't doing too good. But the times have changed, and there are some modern dubs that are way more professional, like Solo Leveling, My Hero Academia, and a good other collection of anime. So I posted a poll this week saying, what do you guys prefer? Do you prefer subbed? Do you prefer dubbed? It will be in the post section of my channel, and it's still up. So the next episode, I will reveal the percentage, or basically the answers of that poll next week. So you guys can say your own opinion on which you like more, subbed or dubbed anime. And you know what? I will understand what your take is on this debate, because all of us get it. All of us anime lovers get it. Some of us like the dub versions a little bit more. Some of us like the subbed version a little bit more. And you know what? Sometimes there are some people who are in between where they like both. Me personally, as a anime watcher, like an intermediate, I'm still trying to research and get my fill in the world of anime. I personally enjoy both the sub and dub versions of anime, because I have that curiosity. I was literally called the Curious George in my family, so I have that curiosity. It's like, I wonder what this anime would sound like in the English version. So I get it. I definitely understand. So here's my personal rule. If I'm watching something new or action heavy, subbed all the way. So that's some examples like Black Clover or My Hero Academia. Or I'm gonna use Solo Leveling as another example. I'm gonna use another anime for an example. Windbreaker. Definitely another good example of action heavy and something new. But if I'm rewatching or just need something to chill in the background, dub works fine. And I'm pretty sure we all go back to those versions of Dragon Ball Z, those days of Dragon Ball Z where it was dubbed. And it really just depends on what you guys like. Okay? Everyone is entitled to their own opinion. Everyone is entitled to what they like. And sometimes we gotta respect that. And even sometimes you'll switch between the two just to see what the difference is. Just to get a feel of what the difference is of a certain anime. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that is a wrap on Anime Talk Episode 2, Subbed versus Dubbed. Whether you're team subbed or team dubbed, the real takeaway here, watch anime however you enjoy it. Okay? Don't listen to very serious or toxic debates about this controversial thing, subbed versus dubbed. Watch anime how you want to watch it. Next week, we're counting down the top 10 anime every new fan should watch. Whether you're just getting started or want to see what made the list, you don't want to miss it. Now, if you guys enjoyed this episode of Anime Talk, follow the show, drop a rating, and hit me up on the Discord or on Instagram. Link will be in the description or on my channel page to let me know what's the worst dubbed line you ever heard, or the best, or a follow-up question that you guys can answer in the comment section down below. What is the worst dubbed anime you have ever watched in your life? Comment that down below. Let me know what you guys think, and be sure to join in on the poll in the post section of the channel, whether you enjoy dubbed or subbed, or if you're a lover of both. Until next time, keep watching, keep feeling, and keep talking anime.